Alright, so this video will be coming out after the Pokemon Week news, so forgive me if I don't guess correctly if we're gonna get Diamond, Pearl, Platinum remakes or not, just Gen 4 remakes in general. But this video is gonna be made by a lot of people, best believe it, but mine is gonna be the best one out of them, so you should watch it most certainly. But let's really talk about what people want when it comes to Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum remakes. For me personally, I asked a bunch of my mutuals, aka just my friends on Twitter, and they had a lot of interesting ideas. I will not be sharing what I think because I personally don't think we're going to be getting them anytime soon, but this is coming out after the fact, so whether I'm right or wrong does not matter to me at this point. I've chosen violence. And some of you might be wondering, where's the Teen Titans video? You said it on Twitter one time. Well, if you were actually paying attention to my Twitter as well, you would know that I'm not producing that video this month. It'll be out in March, so look out for that. But with that being said, let's go and talk about Gen 4 remakes and what people want from those. Alright, so let's begin with my good old friend here, Vlad. Vlad said, bring back the Battle Frontier in some shape or form, make it more like a remake of Platinum and include a fleshed out distortion world. Also include water area and raid stuff in the games. Now, of course, I am a Battle Frontier junkie. I am a Gen 3 stan, as most people know, but I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I'm gonna have to disagree with the Battle Frontier thing. The reason the Battle Frontier was really good was because even if you didn't have friends to play with, generally the Battle Frontier was a lot more entertaining than doing anything else. So for me personally, if we were to get the Battle Frontier again, I mean, I would abuse the shit out of it, but I think a lot of people have kind of moved past the idea of having the Battle Frontier again. It doesn't seem absolutely necessary. I mean, a lot of people always say, oh, it doesn't have a good post game, but realistically, I don't think you guys are really looking for post game because DPP already had a good post game. So the Battle Frontier would be a bit too much in my opinion, I suppose. There are definitely things you can do in the post game of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, but I mean, I kind of got over the fact that I wanted Battle Frontier anymore after the last Battle Frontier thing that we got was basically the Battle Mansion. And safe to say, that was dog shit, and I would never want that again. And then also the Battle Tree, I guess I forgot about that. But that's how insignificant it was to me. It wasn't that great, and it wasn't bad. But something like the Sword and Shield, like, what is it, not the ranked battle, but the restricted battle sparring would be kind of cool, honestly. He said also make it more like a remake of Platinum, which I definitely agree with. And flesh out Distortion World, as long as it's not confusing as shit for a child to get through, I'll definitely be for it. Because I know, like, I'm not a kid, obviously, anymore, but I know that if you're going to be bringing in the general market of people, which can be people from all ages and mostly a bunch of kids and teens, you want to make sure that at least it has it kind of laid out for you. I do wish we could go back to the Distortion World kind of by using Giratina, just like how in Usum you can go back into this in the wormholes, actually not the Distortion World, the wormholes, and ride on Galio Lunala and then go find other Pokemon. Maybe they'll do that with the Distortion World. That'd be pretty cool. It also include wild area and raid stuff in the games. I'm gonna say yes and no. Raid stuff, I can see maybe. Wild area stuff, I definitely would like. Raid stuff, I think every region has its own little thing. I feel like if we got the underground back with a better internet system for these remakes, we would definitely love that more, because then we'd be able to get items. You might be able to find rarer Pokemon down there. I think that would be better, not just raids. I don't like the same thing repeated over and over, but wild area I can definitely see happening if they really wanted to. But yeah, moving on, we have Kachurin, my boy Rob. He said, they don't have to do anything for me, but faithfully recreate the region in 3D. That's all I need. Some areas like Mount Cornet or the route before Snowpoint are just begging for it. I do not have much hope for Game Freak in that department though. And this, I agree with entirely. I don't have much faith in Game Freak either, to be honest with you, to make something or improve something really, really well. The thing about it though is that I agree that Mount Cornet and the route before Snowpoint definitely need some just graphical improvements or just in general improvements, because honestly, Mount Coronet as it is just looks like garbage. And even the route before Snow Point, like you could definitely touch up. I just don't feel like they're going to do it either. So I do think recreating the region in 3D and making it as, you know, look as good as possible is definitely something that they need to do. But just like Robert here, I don't have a lot of faith in that either. Moving on, we have more fossils in the underground, more lore for Regigigas, a better expansion of the post-game, and please let us go to Flower Paradise. This is from my friend Chris. Chris, I agree with you. I think I mentioned it earlier with the whole entire underground that I feel like instead of having the raid area, we should have the underground as our kind of space to see other people, and that could be really cool. I definitely think all of the fossils being underground would be better, just in terms of, you know, having a larger dex. Which we'll get to later, obviously. More lore for Regigigas. Obviously, with Regigigas, I would love some more lore for it. I feel like if you didn't really read anything or really, you know, read the text boxes as much, you weren't going to find out anything about Regigigas. Let's just be real here, fellas. Nobody really cared until they looked it up or really paid attention to anything. And that's just the truth. Maybe they can give it to us, not forcefully, but they can say like, oh, do you want to hear about the lore of Regigigas or hear the lore about this? And give us like a yes or no thing, and then they can give us a brief explanation if we don't want to hear it, and then you give us it long form if we do want to hear it. A bigger expansion of the post-game area, I definitely agree. While it wasn't the largest, definitely not the most, didn't have the most depth to it, I definitely think that a bigger expansion would be nice, because they are relatively just really gosh darn small, and I would really, really like to see more. I think the resort area and you being able to have, I think, a house there, I believe it was in Platinum, I believe, not Diamond Pearl, I think in Platinum. It was pretty cool. Or maybe all 3 games. I'm not remembering it correctly. But even then, being able to have that there and then battle the leaders there on different days and stuff would be actually really cool. And they should have that in each area, realistically. Have something that we can do that can take a good chunk of time. And please let us go to the Flower Paradise. I agree with this. I don't like having to hack in my game to get, Shaman back in the day. And to, like, go off of that, give us the Darkrai and the Arceus event, realistically. I don't see why not. I don't see why we can't have all the Pokemon in the decks. If they're there for a reason, why not let us have them? And then maybe make up a Manaphy or Phaonia event. Do something. It might be really productive, and it would actually be really cool to have. And that's just me being me. Moving on, we have CG, my buddy, my bro. CG said, I think it'd just be neat to have the underground back, but like polished nicely. Maybe take a note out of ORAS and give us a system where we can set up a team for others to fight when visiting our bases. I agree with this. Maybe not the system of having team bases back, or secret bases back, excuse me, but I definitely think that a polished underground is definitely needed. I kind of already answered this a little bit low-key earlier, but definitely would be nice. And like, if you can exploit the underground, maybe find different people, and like you could ask, oh, I want to fight your team. Maybe that would be cool. It could be like the wild area and how we have people there, but it would be a little bit more expanded where you can like fight somebody and you can send them over to like your like underground cave and you can fight whoever you want. You just send them there yourself. You don't have to have other people fight them. You can just do stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. Cross, my boy, he said raids to be back, but instead of it being infested with them certain areas, forest, marsh, etc., they have the space to do it, lol. Also make special raid for Speartube and maybe Rotom. I think raids to be back can definitely be better, but I still don't really like the idea, just mostly because I like keeping certain things to certain areas. It's kind of like the whole entire reason that raids are in Galar is because of the whole entire thing that, oh, there's a big old source of like energy doing this shit and it's causing a lot of damage, you know. I don't really remember the Sword and Shield plot low-key, so I ain't even gonna cap, but I do know that that is the case, that there is something wrong with the region, and DPP doesn't have that. So maybe, I guess they could try it, but I don't know. I definitely think that they definitely have the space to do it because there's a lot of open areas in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, or just in general Gen 4. So yeah, they could do it. Making special raids for Speartube and Rotom, I believe personally they should just have an event in the game that you can easily access at different points in time. So for instance, with Speartube, like I know you get it after Heart Home, and if we're talking Platinum, basically, that's after the 3rd gym, technically. So you can access it. If they have you do like a little quest to go get a Spirit Tube or go do this odd keystone thing and then get the Spirit Tube, that'd be really cool. Rotom has the whole entire television thing, and I mean, that's really it. Just have the event there. Don't make me wait, and maybe have it happen at night, since they are ghost Pokemon respectively. Next, we have Jay, my boy. He said, might as well get it out the way. I really love to see the return of Mega. It was a mechanic I enjoyed a lot more than the last two. And he's referring to obviously Z moves and Dynamaxing. I'd also really like to see different animations for flying Pokemon other than floating in there and flapping twice. CG replied to this and said, I can see it now. We get Megas back in Gen 4. Terra, Infernape, and Polan all get forms. The Johto still remains skipped over Lamau. Alright, so I agree with this. Mostly the Megas. Megas coming back would be dope, mostly because you can bring them back and there could be logically something else to them, because when we think of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the underground is the first thing we think of, and as I was saying earlier with digging underground and finding items, they can make it so you can find Mega Stones. And giving the Gen 4 starters Megas would be kind of cool, though I don't really want it. It would be cool. Mostly I don't want it because they're already pretty good on their own. I feel like Blazing got Speed Boost to be really, really good. Sceptile had Unburden, and then Swampert had nothing, and then they gave the Megas, and it was like, Blaziken was the one who really became overpowered, but the other two were like pretty good, in my opinion. And Poleon's really good, and Frame's really good, and in the right hand, Torterra is really good. But even in general, they're just perfect as they are, but a Mega wouldn't hurt. He also said, I like to see some different animations for flying Pokemon other than floating in there and flapping twice. I agree with this. It is very lazy animation to have a Pokemon basically T-posing, but they're in the air. That is just laziness. I wish we had better animations for that kind of stuff, but I'm preaching to the choir here. Y'all already know how it be. Next up, we have my boy, Blue. He said, just make battles more interesting, strategic, and varied. That's all I would need. Yeah, I can agree with that. Making them more interesting, strategic, and varied definitely is something I can, like, see them doing. But the whole entire reason it's kind of a double-edged sword is because the demographic you are really going to appeal to is the very basic demographic. I think with this will always come up later, is the fact that challenge mode has not been brought back, ever. And I feel like we need that brought back, no cap. I feel like challenge mode is definitely something we need. If you bring back challenge mode after someone beats the game, they could just do like a new game plus, have a second profile, and then they could go beat the game again. But this time they go beat the game. Now it's a little bit harder, or whatever the hell. Like, you're beating the game again without the significant plot points. It's just straight gym battles. Maybe you're grinding a little bit every so often. But I feel like that'd be better. But definitely need some more strategy and some more variations of things. I love you guys to bring back triple battles, rotation battles. Those are my favorite, but you might bring that back if we have a Gen 5 remake. Who knows? Next up, we got Shady Sean. Sean says, I would like the main game to be as similar to the original experience as possible. Instead of every gym having a Dynamax battle, save it for post-game like Sun and Moon, saving Mega Stones for the post-game. Also, Battle Frontier is a must-have when you need more fire types available. Alright, so let's break it up. Main game to be as similar to the original experience as possible. When it comes to remakes, I agree with that. You want to make sure that they emulate that, you know, that they are the same general experience. You don't want to throw Megas in there, obviously. Or like Megas like from Sun and Moon, how they had it in the post. But gyms having Dynamax battles in Galar was their main shtick. So for DPP, whatever it will be, if it's Megas coming back with some other shit, maybe leave Megas to the post game. I personally agree with that. Battle Frontier is a must. I already mentioned that I'm not too keen on having it back anymore. It would be nice, but given the amount of time that would take and effort, I don't want it because they might just fuck it up and then people will be like, why is this here? And I don't want to hear complaining about one of the things that hold near and dear to my heart. I already complained about it enough. And we need more fire types available. There's a lot of types you need available. Fire types are definitely one. But fire types definitely need more of. And since it'll be Platinum, we will assume here, having a remake of Platinum would be better just because you gain the Houndour, excuse me, Magby, and some other Pokemon, I believe, that are also fire type. We just need, like, generally more fire types. That'd be dope. Moving on, we got Dotsomnia. What's good? He says, also, no diehard fan, but if we got some wacky shit, I'd be down. Sinnoh forms to Mons 5th gen or later. Abandon faithful recreation in advanced character stories in main story or with an epilogue. Oh, and definitely keep Battle Frontier. They needn't be cursed like Hoenn fans. Hey, fuck you. No, but seriously, let's break it down once again. Xenoforms for Mons, 5th gen and later. I can see it. I can't think of any off the top of my head that I'd want to see, mostly because 5th gen has a lot of food to eat and I don't think they need any more, but I might be the only one saying that. Abandon faithful recreation in advanced character stories in main story or with an epilogue. I agree. There are some things that, like, we don't ever hear from Mira, Sherald, Riley, Buck, trying to remember the last person. Is there one more? There is one more. Marlene, whatever her name is. We don't really hear from them after we help them. Why not give us some conclusion to that? Like, we do pair with them in the battle tower, obviously, no cap, that's pretty cool. We can have that happen again. But if I hear from Cheryl and I just helped her, she could come back in the story and help me with Team Galactic, or any one of them could do it. Riley seems like the most capable one out of all of them, realistically. Or just in general, have them help me during the story so it's not just a one-time thing. I definitely agree with the whole entire thing with this. And it could be an epilogue at the end of the game where, like, they're thanking you and be like, hey, thanks for this, yada yada yada, good luck on the Pokemon League, or good luck beating whoever the hell. It'd be really cool, honestly. I feel like you could definitely include them. And he says also, oh, definitely keep the Battle Frontier. Once again, I'm not gonna repeat my same point about the Battle Frontier, but yeah, I mean, I would prefer it, but we'll see how it goes. We have two more. We have Shodai Yosei Kaje? I don't know. But Woozard is what I'm going to call you. You follow me, I know you. Other than just a faithful recreation, I want all event areas and Pokemon in the base game. No DLC going to GameStop. See, I agree with this. I don't really see the point of having DLC for event Pokemon. It just makes it a tiresome experience. Now I get it. Basically, not going to GameStop or not having to pay for DLC would be the wave. Obviously, they need to make money. They need to make bank. They need to make some bread. You already know. But having the event areas in the post game just not available until they update the game would be better than having to fucking pay for it. That would be dope. It could be like, oh, not yet. And then, like, they have an update that goes out a month into the game and saying, okay, all these areas open, go catch these legendary Pokemon. That would be dope. And I'm gonna go off on a tangent here and just say now, before I have a rant, please let me shiny hunt those Pokemon. Darkrai, Manaphy, which was harder to shiny hunt because of the Manaphy egg, Shaman, Arceus, whatever the fuck, mythicals. Please. I'd rather have legitimate shinies than illegitimate shinies. Game Freak, I know you gonna see this. Or maybe you won't, because honestly, I don't think a lot of people are going to see this. But anyways, let's move on to the last person. We got Allegedly, I didn't get Tep's question in here, which is unfortunate, but we're going to do it right now, doing it live editing while I'm editing this last part. It says, game mechanics wise, I would love to have more contests and more customization when it comes to the seal case. Tep also said, story wise, I'd love if they made it so it's like a sequel more than a remake. And they made it so that Sharon, who's from Pokemon Platinum, would bring Team Galactic back even after Stark Mountain. I do agree that maybe having some sort of, I guess, more of a sequel type would be better. I think a lot of people may disagree with you, Tep, but I definitely agree that maybe having a sequel would be better and bring back Team Galactic in the same way Chorus brought back Team Plasma, though I didn't like Chorus at all, and I don't really like Black and White too, but that's a different video. And I love to have more contests and more customization comes to the seal case, as long as they still keep the restriction in of not letting us put cuss words, because as you guys know, the general consumer is a child. So, yeah. More customization would be dope, though, and a lot of different, like, animations would be cool. I just feel like it's going to be one of those things that's not going to be there because of how generally things can be stored away and packed away and just, like, not remembered. But I definitely remember seals. Also, contests would be dope. I mean, I loved contests in Gen 3, and I still do, realistically. I just, if they came back in this next thing, that'd be dope. But let's get back to the last question, which should be from Nora, but Future Me will I'm Future Me, so past me will tell you that. So, let's go back. Nora down here. Shout out to Nora. How you doing, girl? She says, I grew up with Gen 4, and I love it. I love to see them revamp the Sinnoh decks, though, with all the newer additions. It could help fix a lot of the flaws like the lack of fire types. Plus the Route 209 music with live instruments. I agree, Route 209 is really, really good. I feel like Nora has a really good point though. Revamping the Sinnoh decks to have a lot more Pokemon, having newer additions, and definitely you know, the fire types once again would definitely be better. Having newer Pokemon will definitely be a better experience for everybody in general. I mean, it'll give you more options for what you want on your team. It'll give you more options in general for what you will see and what can be used, what can't be used. I just don't want the entire decks back, which might be the most controversial thing I say in this video, mostly because that means I have to account for a lot more, and if there are other forms being added to this game, that's a lot more Pokemon to account for. And no cap, while the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, whoever can include every single Pokemon into the game, I would much rather have a just really good game than have all the Pokemon back. I'm just gonna keep it a stack with you guys. If the game's good, I can give less than two shits about what Pokemon they bring back. Just give me a good game. And that's what I really want out of this. And that will be my closing point. Game Freak, Pokemon Company, whoever, I really hope that if we do get DPP remakes or whatever game's coming next, that is just a really good game. I could give less than two fucks about the national decks, which is the most controversial thing, once again, that I'll ever say. I just want a really good game. So, with that being said, that's going to close out the video. This is all what all my friends want, and this is a pretty long video, honestly. It didn't take as long as I thought it would, but, you know, I asked my mutuals, and they responded. So thank you guys for doing that. If you ever see me tweet out something and you follow me and I follow you, well, you'll be able to respond to that tweet if I had need it for my videos and ideas in general. But thank you to those who responded to that tweet. That was in December, and I think the last tweet I got was from January, so that was pretty good. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll try to keep up with these videos more often, but next month's video, you know, last video of the month really, will be my Teen Titans character analysis for Season 1. And moving forward, I'm really thinking of doing every season for that, but not like every month. I think after that, we will take a look at Backyard Sports, and we will also probably have the Black and White 2 video come out. So look forward to all those videos in the future. With that being said, leave your comment down below. What do you want in a Gen 4 remake? What do you think we're gonna get? And realistically, do you really want these games? Because I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. Some people do, some people don't. But I just want to hear from you guys. So leave a comment down below. I check all my comments and I approve them if they're not, you know, cursing at me or saying any dumb shit. But thank you guys for watching. And I'm IncogM, and good luck, have fun.